Yeah, you may want to stop and restart, right? Because doesn't the uploading thing doesn't that happen at the end on Riverside? I'm not sure.
Sorry, I should have told you that yeah, so now the count is on. Do you
Do,
see it on your
yeah, I just want
Yeah.
to make sure that my sound is okay. Is it
Yeah.
to where? Okay, yeah, it's right where it was. Perfect.
Yeah,
Uh,
it seems fine. And you're just using the MacBook Air, right?
yes.
Actually, I'm so sorry, but one thing I want to just double check with you. Do you have any other windows open? Did you sign on to Riverside and make sure that sometimes there's two Riversides open, like if you did a test just to see and then that never closed? There's like a weird
Um,
uh
I
if you go into the Apple and just go to force quit and
force.
just make sure that everything is closed.
Um, yeah, we just have applications. There, I should probably do. Yeah, let's get Zoom out of there. Should I get everything out of there?
Yeah, just close it all for now.
Okay. And just keep Chrome.
Yeah, and just keep Chrome, especially if you have like Safari open somewhere on there. Sometimes it just messes things up. And you're on Chrome now, right?
Just Chrome.
Okay,
Yes.
perfect.
Oops. Okay. And yeah, we are
Yeah,
done.
if you signed on through Safari, you should definitely close it and then come back on through Chrome.
No, this is Chrome.
Okay, perfect.
This is Chrome. Yep. All other applications are shut force quit, and we're just Chrome right now.
Perfect. Okay. All right. So, and I have an editor that handles this right after, so it's all good. Okay. So here we go. Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the Kara Goldin Show. So excited to welcome Andy Hnilo, who is the founder and CEO of Alitura Naturals. And if you have not heard of Alitura Naturals, you must tune in and hear a lot more about this company. And Andy's journey is nothing short of extraordinary. After a life-changing accident left him with some significant injuries, he set out on a mission to heal himself using natural, nutrient rich ingredients. And just a few of his products I've tried, but the Gold Serum, which I guess is his number one product out there, is just out of this world. You must try it. So I cannot wait to hear more about this company and uh, learn more about Andy's story of resilience and innovation and passion for natural healing. So can't wait to dive in. Welcome, Andy. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you so much for having me on. It's nice to meet you.
Very, very excited. So, what was your initial vision when you decided to create Alitura after, I guess, your life changing accident? Can you back us up and tell us the moment that really shaped this journey of this company?
Yes. So I was secretly into skincare because of an issue I had in my teens that was corrected through, long story made short. I went to UC Berkeley, and on an off day, I went to Shattuck Avenue and went to a little herbalist in Berkeley, California, that explained the importance, long story short, explained the importance of ingredients in my products that I was using. I was using Neutrogena, Clearasil, eating dorm food, trying to put on weight, taking creatine for the first time. So I had very bad cystic acne on my back and little spots around my face that looked like mosquito bites. And from that point, I switched to Dove soap, 5 ingredients. 2 of them were coconut derived surfactants. At 18 years old, even knowing or just having a signal in your brain that natural is better, I took that and went from pizza, soft serve to like tuna and spinach in the same dorm little, and obviously teammates kind of making fun of me, but some of them, months later asking me, hey, would you mind writing me up something? 18 years old. Ding, that little, you look back to certain moments. And then I was, I was an athlete, but I had a secret passion. I mean, you can't describe the feeling of like just a warmth in the morning rather than, oh, that's the only thing you see. You know what I mean? Just a little breakout or pimple or something like that. So to have that clarity and stay consistent with that, especially as the hormones are racing, you're going into your body. I got into skincare and taking care of myself and purity of ingredients internally and externally. And that grew year over year. At 20 years old, I was using Aztec healing clay, one ingredient, calcium bentonite clay. And so that was like my secret weapon. I would do it once a week. I was in the entertainment industry in Los Angeles after baseball didn't work out. I was reading lines with my roommate who was an actor, and I was fresh out of baseball. So I was, it was a baseball related film. So I was just kind of coaching him. And he's like, man, you're good at this. You ever thought about getting into it? He got me a read for the role, got a call back, ended up booking that, got representation, and it became, started my career as an actor. And so every Sunday night before a week of auditions, I would do this clay mask, and I had roommates and things like that. I hid it underneath the little bathroom sink, and they had to see it, but I would just scurry back into my room, let it dry, and then shower it off. But it just, the microcirculation of the surface of the skin and just the clarity, I looked forward to doing it. So that's how I had that in my back pocket. I stopped ordering from Aztec Healing Clay and I sourced myself. I mean, and I connected with Jason Eaton from greenclays.net, and I had a phone call with him and learned about pyrophyllite, zeolite, kaolin, rossul, iolite, the different mineral components and density internally and externally for healing, right? And so because I was in a big accident, March 2011. I was hit and run over by two cars. And so my jaw was wired shut. I was unrecognizable, very swollen. My front teeth were gone. And so I was in a very, delicate point of recovery where I had this mask and I just began to apply it, started meeting with different herbalists in the Los Angeles area, went to Air One, Dragon Herbs, George from Jing Herbs, just my jaw wired shut, picking their brain, trying to figure out how to cleanse my system. And so I would experiment with some of the ingredients that I was making this tonic in, and in the same clay mask that had I think at that point I had kelp powder, bentonite, rossul, and vitamin C. But I started experimenting with things like colostrum, pearl powder, American ginseng, and then also a lot of ingredients that didn't work: turmeric, green tea powder. Just particle size wise, it didn't match with the formula, but the ones that did, colostrum as well, first 4-hour milking grass-fed colostrum. I just created this like mineralizing superfood meal for the skin that dried, pulled out impurities. So it made me feel good from the antibiotics and CT scan x-rays that I was going through to see how the bone was growing back. And in the process, close friends who had seen me in the ICU were like, I remember picking up Christina Rodriguez from the airport a few weeks after the accident. And she just did that genuine double take that you can't, I didn't script that. I needed that though. And she just, what did you do to your skin? And I'm just, I have like this mask, and she lived a couple blocks away. So just a little bamboo bowl, apple cider vinegar, lavender oil. I don't recommend lavender anymore, but it just made it smell better at the time. And then just explained I was excited to do it because it was like one of the first times I had shared it with definitely a female, but like some of my buddies would try it out and they loved it. It was a little earthy. So I dialed down the kelp powder. Technically, that was my little first beta test. And then they would tell their friends I was going around LA with the little backpack before work. And all I would ask for is just some feedback and then like a picture that I could post on social media. Way back then, I was recovering. People were wondering how I was doing, what I was doing. It was my new little thing. And hey, I'm back. I went from really banged up to like getting my zest back through just this like militant routine that I had throughout the day, going on walks to get circulation going from head to toe once the sun went down. So the scarring wasn't baked in. And yeah, just through trial or trial, it was never meant to be a business. I just loved what it did for me, but people started like, it had like this little following, and I just loved that people wanted something that I created, and just the feedback was enough. So I troubleshooted Dave Asprey's email because I wanted to, his attention to detail with ingredients resonated deeply within me. I mean, here's someone that's talking about the single heirloom cacao pod that he uses beyond organic in his chocolate powder and in his cacao butter. And it deeply resonated with me because the purity, but the lengths you can go to in sourcing, you can tell a story with that. I mean, now I know that, but at the time I was just curious about it. It made it interesting. It made regular salt to pink Himalayan salt. Like, that's, which one to me is better? I want it. That's a story right there. Himalayan. Okay. It just signaled something to me, which to this day makes a lot of sense. And I just think it's, the sourcing component is sacred, and it's something that you can really, tell the truth. And it's so fun for me, creating and sourcing something just different than that's been sitting on a shelf. How about you meet someone that, takes pride in that one ingredient? You meet curators. I mean, it's just, I never expected this. So why not just create something, pour your heart into it? I'm so glad. So I was back acting. This was never meant to be a thing. Uh, Back to Dave. I troubleshooted his email address. I found the info at Bulletproof Exec. His name's Dave Asprey, D.Asprey, Dave.Asprey, like 10 different combinations, copy pasted the same email with a picture of me in the ICU and a picture in like Men's Health magazine going, dude, you got me back. Cause I never drank coffee before, but I started drinking Bulletproof coffee through a recommendation through a friend. One of those emails went through, his EA got back to me, and I was a Bulletproof ambassador. So I got the products for free. So I'd like take pictures with the mask and Bulletproof, and like, I'm recovering and back in the industry, acting and modeling again. And just thanks to Bulletproof and this clay mask. Right. And I guess they started paying attention a little bit to my story, and they had me on Bulletproof Radio. And basically just the first 45 minutes, we're going through how I recovered with his products and the story and all that. And then he asked what I did for my skin, which we didn't talk about beforehand. And I was a little, I didn't expect it. And it was kind of hidden. I wasn't ready to bring it out to the world, but I'm so glad I did. You know what I mean? So and started flowing on the ingredients, why I use what I use, what it did, the components of the ingredients, and like this
So
meal.
let me stop you right there. So what was it that you were using on your skin at that point?
Uh,
Because it sounds like you were ingesting a lot of these, different things, but then all of a sudden, you were getting asked this question, what are you using on your skin after this accident and, just repairing yourself? So what was that early, I guess the early stages of Alitura? What was the first product that you created then?
the Alitura clay mask. It was so, once I did the podcast with Dave, he got such a response on that clay mask, and people wanted to know where they could buy it. So I went down to my neighbors who, we were friends, but I explained the situation. We had like a little assembly line filling station in their garage, just going down for the bottling, labeling, and then that's fast forward like big. I had to come up with cost of goods, packaging, a name for the company, all of that. But the first product was Alitura clay mask. And then really what I did was I melted down beeswax, cacao butter, added sea buckthorn oil. I learned about plant-derived stem cells on the water side, mixed that in. It was just a creative paste that I would put together that's got professionally formulated through a chemist and is now our night cream. But that started out of a cast iron pan though. And so that was just through, I mean, dense, antibacterial, antifungal, the enzyme components in beeswax, propolis, manuka honey, sea buckthorn with the omega-7, just really rich quality ingredients. It was all an experimentation, but I had a feeling, an intuition of what worked and what didn't. And it accelerated the healing of my scarring and abrasions very quickly. I was in good shape before, so that probably And I was 29, 30. So that helped. I had youth on my side, but I really just fell in love with the activity and just the performance of this clay mask that was just, I just felt so much better afterwards from the pulling action, but also the exfoliation of it was incredible. So I would have friends who would introduce me to makeup artists and estheticians and but that was part of the beta testing process. It was a little too much on the kelp powder, a little too much ascorbic acid. So all of this was dialing it down. It helped me formulate it perfectly to get it to where it is now. But up until November 2013, I was back in the entertainment industry working with Bulletproof. I was good, but I would still post about this mask. And then one of my friends on Facebook, Mary Halls, owned Alvarado Skin Institute in La Mesa in San Diego area. And I went down there, same thing. I mean, so nervous. She loved it. Thank God. And then she tried it out on a few of her clients. Just, hey, what do you think about this? They loved it too. So it got brought on a professional roster, no name, just the mineralizing superfood clay-based facial treatment mask. And that was like a victory for me to have that, from a 660 square foot apartment to now professionally. It was just like an internal victory, but I knew I had something from that point. And so after doing Dave's podcast, that helped me put it together professionally and make it available for sale. But it would have been very difficult to get a customer without Dave Asprey's help. So to this day, I'm beyond
That's awesome.
grateful for that opportunity. Yeah.
I love it. So what year was that?
2014.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's wild. So you have the clay mask, and today, how many SKUs do you have?
15. 15, about to be 17, working on curandera, an adaptogenic healing tonic. Wait till you see that. It's liposomal tamaquana and blue lotus, frankincense, a little 14,000 elevation shilajit, but it's going to taste good too. So it's nice to be able to give something to my friends, loved ones, and then put something available that it's our second ingestible. But we have a sunscreen coming out called Alitura Soul that I just was hesitant to release a sunscreen because I love the sun and I just believe that getting good sunlight is great, but also healing post sun, But I just don't think it's our number one inquiry. And I haven't found one that really does the job with respecting the sun as well and using other elements like conductors, 24 karat gold, manuka honey, red raspberry seed, cacao plum. Anyway, so that's coming out this year as well. And I just, we're going to continue to just create products as clean as we can make them, but powerfully effective as well. You can do both. You can do both.
Yeah, no, I love it. So you knew nothing about the skincare industry from the perspective of actually creating something, yet you just rolled up your sleeves and decided, I'm going to get this done. So how did you? I think that I feel like there's definitely a formula for many founders, no matter what industry you're in. You're interested in something. Obviously, you had shown interest in the past for good skin ingredients, but now you're in it, right? How hard was that to figure out how to actually create your products? Obviously, you've changed them slightly, you've added SKUs to the line, but how difficult was that to actually jump in and learn about this industry?
Oh, liquid products from powder to liquid, much different. I remember meeting with my first contract manufacturer in the LA area who's recommended from a friend. And I remember walking in and first liquid product, right? People wanted a follow up moisturizer to the clay mask. And he's just walking in. It's like baking a cake, right? Water, glycerin, and what are you trying to go? And I'm like, well, no, not water, glycerin. I kind of wanted like a bee product base. I'm thinking beeswax, propolis, cacao butter. And he goes, oh, we got beeswax, but the passion wasn't. I didn't want regular anything. I mean, my sourcing for the clay mask has 7 different sources for 9 ingredients. I mean, there wasn't a whole lot of deep passion, like an artistry in his response. So luckily I found a family in North Shore, Oahu, Haleiwa, Hawaii that holistically raises bee products. So I cold called them. I heard my video playing in the background. So they got, I mean, at that point we had volume. I'm so a little embarrassed about that, but when you pop to the site, you hear the video playing. So they got familiar with the story. Who's this guy calling? But they, that's how it all started. Just a call. Hi. I just found out about your facility. I'm looking to make a moisturizer to my to follow up my Alter clay mask. Here's my website. And it took 22 tweaks. That's 21 phone calls to Anthony back and forth, which normally revision formulation, you know, 5 to maybe 10, because every one you pay for. And I just, but he was very patient with me. It was a very dynamic formula that I wanted, that I had to have German chamomile, sea buckthorn, aloe, carrot seed, calendula. They're just the quality oils. And I've just been I'm very grateful that I have chemists that are patient and allow me to kind of push the boundaries on proprietary blends and create our own on the other side. Just I know it takes more work, but they realize it's a big part of like just my art. I don't care how long it takes. I don't care how much it costs. I just once we get it though, that feeling internally is hard to describe of formulation. Putting a bow on a product is it's exhilarating to me. So and there's a way to a very obvious way to stand out, and just don't put in the sodium benzoate, potassium sorbate, the glycerin, the ingredients that don't serve the skin. We all get that red to green rating on cleanliness of ingredients. Why would you ever put anything that isn't through the roof green onto your largest detoxifying organ? Why would you put anything toxic, even a decimal point? Never. So it's a beautiful way to stand out. Alatur is Latin for feeding and nourishing. Your skin being your largest organ, you want to treat it like another mouth. And so just staying firm and committed to that mantra and mission of ingredient integrities has been fun, because you get to just share your truth and also a passion for this and purity of ingredients. And just, I believe, because you're not irritating that process, your body isn't, what's this, that of a synthetic or a toxic ingredient. I believe because I have very sensitive reactive skin. I just have experienced that my body responds better to clean natural ingredients from Mother Nature.
How did you come up with the name Alitura? You talked about the meaning of it, but how did that come to you?
It was Golden Glow for a while. Both G's capitalized, no W. I just loved the golden glow that the clay mask gave you. And I'm very grateful for honest friends that kind of took me aside and went, Andy, that sounds like a bronzer. And I'm like, well, because I love the name. And when we shot it around for a little bit, and Alitura Naturals, Alitura being Latin, sacred language, and just universally respected. And then just Latin for feeding and nourishing. I just think it's synonymous with everything that I'm about. And I love that name. I can't imagine anything else. And I'm so glad we didn't go with Golden Glow. But yeah, that's a story of the name.
So you and I were chatting before we hit record. So 99% of your business today is direct to consumer, but you are in different outlets and you're getting into more and more opportunities. How do you educate your consumers about the benefits of these products? I mean, it's tough, right? You're in a very competitive industry, but how do you get them to really understand what you're about?
Our customers.
Hmm.
It's a social media friendly product, the clay mask, but they are so excited to share, doing my self-care Sunday. So like just sharing that, and then them getting back, because we always ask, oh, how'd it go? The reviews. So and our customers are the reason why we're here. It's just, they tell their friends. We didn't start marketing on Meta. It's like 5, 6, 7 years into it. So it was just podcasts. I was on Dave's 3 times initially in that first year. So Dave, go over to Ben Greenfield. And then Ben, just share my story. I can take a no, but it would be an honor to be on your show, just like yours. And then just like Little Engine That Could, just sharing, hey, I would love, I was on Dave's and Ben's. My name's Andy Hnilo. Just sharing the story of this product that I created. And they would, normally everyone would say yes, Mark Sis and Josh Dr. Josh Axe, Wellness Mom. So that really was how it all got started, because I was able to get on these podcasts and drive traffic to that our website. And keep in mind, it was very small, but the thrill was unbelievable to just be able to do that, to share something that was an idea and got told no for a couple of years. And I just treated, and still do treat it as a sacred opportunity to just share the true story about how I got into this. But yeah, it was just perfectly slow and steady, if that makes sense. It wasn't too much. We only had one product. We took the profit from, I didn't have a business plan. I learned about profit, cost of goods, all this on the go. It's just the truth. But I luckily was still working at the time, modeling for Oakley. So I had some money on the side that was able to invest into my new moisturizer, and then just two products. And then took the people wanted a little nighttime treatment. So I went back, and my pace that I was talking about went to Anthony again. Same deal. Didn't take 22 tweaks, but perfectly formulated that. Now it's our number two bestseller, that night cream. So, but just slow and steady. We didn't roll out this line, and so I think our customers got to see and feel, because I would tell the story throughout of the formulation. I mean, our fragrance presence, over 100 tweaks. At the end, they would give us notes, like six, but they started hiding the notes and just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, because I would get wrapped up in my head. You clear the palate with the coffee beans, but I couldn't decide. It was so tough. I signed off on that 3 times, which means 2 times in quarantine. I go, Susan, I'm so sorry. It's a little too sweet. There's a bit in it. So you normally don't go through revisions in quarantine, but twice. But we got that though. It's 75% organic. It's a fragrance that you can feel confident wearing. Fragrance is one of the biggest culprits in, affecting our endocrine system, hormones. Fragrance is a big culprit. It's one of the most damaging components, commonly located in hairspray, makeup, perfume, skincare products as well.
So what has been one of your biggest challenges in creating the products and the company? And was there a moment when you thought, I don't know how to do this. I am not sure. It seems like you're very resourceful. You're willing to pick up the phone. You're willing to talk to lots of people to ultimately get to the answer. But there had to have been a time when you felt like this is so challenging. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to get through this situation.
Well, I had Dave Asprey as a partner. I mean, he had, to this day, the most impressive man on stage that I've seen. I've never heard him say, I don't know, to me. He has a solution. So luckily, I have to say that having him on the other end to help out in situations, but I didn't bother him. Keep in mind, he was writing Bulletproof Diet, and I took it as a challenge when like you mentioned it, there's a lot of information, a lot of resources out there. So I didn't, if I needed Dave, I would reach out, and he was extremely helpful, helping me find a packaging expert or labeling. They think, packaging is huge. So when I ran into I just, I don't know. And I don't want to say like I always find a way, but I just, um, there have obviously been challenges. I would say just the thing is, my number one is finding, and it's going to happen hopefully, like a right hand person that is close to my energy, that loves this as much as I do. We're 11 years into it, short, small team, but there's a level of experience and hunger that I crave and dream for. Because if I had someone alongside, it's just me right now doing the higher level positions, but it's an opportunity. I mean, what more do you want in life? Especially something that you made. So this is my dream, and but yeah, I could use some help, but
Yeah.
it's all right.
More than anything. So, did you what was the hardest and most difficult product, maybe one you're most proud of producing of all of your SKUs that it's fun. I created a company called Hint Water, and I always tell people that the lemon was the one that was actually the most difficult because there's so many products out there that people um, think of when they think of lemon. We're using real lemons, and you have to be very careful because it can actually turn into turpentine. I mean, it's a very complicated when you're using the rinds and, you're using real stuff. It's a very different story than flavors, right? So so that was probably, and that it surprised me that it was so difficult, but it was very, very hard. So when we finally figured it out and it came out, I was like, I am so excited about this. Have you had one product that you've just been like, wow, finally, we've got it?
Meteorite scrub, 6 years, approaching 7. And I had it done 3 years before. And then I went in on the sugarcane tube from the single source out in Brazil. I mean, for 2 years designing it, going through all of the artwork. And then I found out there were trace elements of plastics in there that, I mean, can you imagine for 2 years just going so excited because all I wanted was the visual variance of a tube, of a scrub, and then being able to explain sugarcane. We didn't go plastic. And then just kind of going, the formula was done for 2 years and just, anyway, that was, it's part of it's my tuition as a business owner, whatever, to, those situations happen. But that I would say, was the most frustrating because coming up with the formula, testing that for 4 years and then sitting on 2 with the packaging, knowing the formula and people asking throughout, that was just the most challenging thing to deal with because I wanted that too. But the jar it's ironic. Things tend to work out how they're supposed to. The jar's even better.
So when you have challenging moments, you've got people like Dave, to reach out to kind of give you a bump. But it's hard being an entrepreneur. It's hard being a founder, especially if you're wearing multiple hats, right? What kind of advice would you give to other entrepreneurs who are passionate about creating impactful brands, but just like what are they getting into?
It's, in my opinion, I have endless energy because I truly do love this.
Mhm.
So that's an advantage if I mean, there are millions of business owners that aren't in love with their product. I'm just saying it really does help to have a genuine. I just wake up, first and last thought of the day is, well, what can I do, rather than that feeling of dread.
Ooh, ouch. Is there a Slack or something going off?
Sorry.
That's okay.
Um, let me see if I can go to. Yeah, I want to. Oh man, I force quit that. I don't know why that came. I'm sorry about that.
That's okay.
Um, I apologize.
No, 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 that's
I
fine.
did just quit it. Sorry about that.
No, 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 that's fine.
What was the question again?
So we were just, what advice would you give to people, entrepreneurs? This is the last question, by the way. What advice would you give to entrepreneurs knowing what you know today about starting a business? And uh, it's a lot of work. It could be really challenging. What would you tell others based on what you know today?
Use your network and ask a lot of questions to anybody who's done it before. Even if you don't know them, reach out. We all see the emails. It's very, that, with social media these days. Hey, I have a couple questions. Please do not spend so much money. Use your cash wisely for the 5, 10, $20,000 meetings with these experts to give them an opportunity. It's really rampant these days. I would say reach out to me if you want. And I say that almost on every podcast because I just want to protect the small, hungry, passionate business owners from going, oh, here's my opportunity. And then 20 of the 25,000 goes to this guru that does nothing. I really, really mean that. You can do so much. You can learn. That's what. And then if you have an interest, that's a big bonus into your product. And if it's not just meant to make money, if that's the focus, I don't even know what that would feel like. So it's just how good can I make this? And when it is, you can't wait to just share it. So that's me though. I understand that's not everybody's situation, but it really helps to have your heart involved with it. And then number two, just please be mindful of the experts that you meet with, that you don't want to just maybe if you get into a situation like Dave. I had I made him a partner of Alitura because of the opportunity, and it cost a little bit, but it was a loan situation. So there are different ways to work deals. I just please use your precious cash, hard-earned cash, and just do your research before meeting with some of these people that are going to help you out. I mean, if that makes sense. It's just I would hate to see, big, because I get a lot of people reaching out mentioning, well, I have this opportunity now that people are charging for podcasts. I maybe say, just pour your heart out into an email and then maybe make them a commission or an affiliate and say, I can't afford this podcast appearance, but I would love to. There are so many people out there that'll get you on and do it just because out of the kindness of their own heart, like you. And,
Yes, definitely.
does that make sense? That's my best advice, I would say.
I love it. Ooh, ouch.
And
Uh, is that that's okay. If you could just silence it just for a second, that'd be great.
do not disturb.
Maybe just close that window, the Slack.
Um, yeah, it's not up.
Hmm.
Um,
That's okay. Let's just close it up real quick, and then we'll edit that part out. It's all good. Uh,
Let me see if
and
I can just.
you know what? We're good. Let me just do this one quick thing. So Andy, your story is incredibly inspiring, from overcoming a life-changing accident to building a globally recognized skincare brand. And you've definitely showed the power of resilience, innovation, and passion. And really appreciate you sharing your journey and insights with us today. Super appreciate it.
Well, thank you for having me on. Thank you for the opportunity.
Absolutely. And we'll have all the info in the show notes for Alitura Naturals and how to reach out to Andy as well. And I know he also has a promo code that we'll be able to share that in the show notes too.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for having me on. If anybody wants to visit alitura.com and just use Kara20 for 20% off the store. And I just really appreciate you having me on.
Awesome. Thanks again.
Thank you.